Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's very nice to see so many people following our invitation. It's my particular honor and pleasure to welcome you all to this building here, to TU Wien, to the Energy Plus building. What better place to trigger and inaugurate the new Green Chemistry Master Curriculum Program, and also to have the kickoff event of this trilateral collaboration between University of Vienna, University of Life Sciences, BOKU, and TU Wien. My name is Marko Mihovilovic. I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Technical Chemistry here at TU Wien, and I will try to guide you through the program we have composed for this morning, which is essentially a mixture of opening statements by several stakeholders involved in the process of initiating this program. And also, we will display the setup of the new curriculum. We will then have video statements by some eminent scientists representing the field of green chemistry. And ultimately, we will have a very typical Viennese impromptu. So we will have a combination of science and music by one of my dear fellow colleagues from the University of Vienna. And at the end, there will be time for interaction and networking in the social mixture part. Regrettably, we received the news yesterday evening from Madam Federal Minister Gewessler that she will not be able to participate personally in this event, but I'm very happy to welcome Mr. Karl Kienzl from the cabinet of the minister, who will also provide her statements and give us an introduction about the viewpoint of the Climate Action Ministry. So welcome, Mr. Kienzl, and I would also like to welcome Thomas Jakl as representative of the Climate Action Ministry, also delivering an opening statement. It's also my particular pleasure to welcome representatives of federal scientific and educational institutions. I think Mrs. Buck is also here with the Minister of Education, Science and Research. A particular welcome goes to the representatives of the three participating universities of this trilateral initiative. And I would like to welcome Rector Sabine Seidler and Vice Rector Kurt Matthias, Vice Rector for Teaching. I would also like to welcome Vice Rector Christa Schnabl with the University of Vienna, and past Rector, but very heavily involved in the generation of this program, Sabine Baumgartner with the University of Life Sciences. And finally, it's my particular honor and pleasure to also welcome international delegates, and in particular the delegation from UCT Prague, headed by Rector Pavel Matejka and Vice Rectors. And I'm very much looking forward to this afternoon, where we will have some talks about possibilities of interaction between these two institutions in the field of green chemistry. Ladies and gentlemen, what is green chemistry, you may ask? Just another image campaign towards greenwashing a problematic set of science and technologies? Well, I hope by the end of this morning you will agree with me that this is definitely not the case. We understand green chemistry as a substantial redefinition of our science, developing its actions from an alleged problem maker to the future and actually already established problem solver. How do we intend to do this? By moving beyond from the simple previous approaches to just make another chemical, make a new pharmaceutical, making a catalyst, making a new OLED device, and moving on to making this in a smart fashion. What do I mean by this? Not just considering the immediate properties of the particular new chemical material, but also already from the very beginning considering its reuse, its regeneration, and its recycling. Therefore, implementing a whole life cycle consideration already in the design of future products, ultimately achieving a circular economy for the benefit of our environment, our society, and each individual human. You may ask, what do we need for this transformation? On one hand, definitely money. And in times like these, I consider it of utmost importance to bring to everybody's minds that major drivers of innovation, especially here in Austria, are located at universities and research institutions, and that require proper funding in order to ensure future prosperity. On the other hand, it requires brains, experts, who take up ideas from the drawing board very often crazy ideas, demonstrate their feasibility in the lab, and then take them to scale up towards industrial implementation. These experts we aim to form in the coming years within this program. What makes them different from an ordinary chemist? In particular, these experts do not only receive competitive training in the core disciplines of chemistry, but they obtain the systems perspective, also taking aspects of toxicology, resource management, safety and benignness, circular economy into their consideration when designing the future products and future processes. We will definitely hear about some specifics in these video keynotes by John Warner from the Warner Babcock Institute in Boston, as well as Martin Polyakov and George Martin from the University of Nottingham, who are already in the middle of this transformation of our discipline into, hopefully, a future sustainable science. I'm looking forward to the upcoming statements and in particular to the opportunity to enter into discourse and exchange during this event and wish us all a great morning with the aim to actively changing and reshaping the public future of chemistry, evolving from chemistry as problem maker to the new chemistry as problem solver. With that, I would like to hand over to Rector Seidler for her opening statement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, distinguished guests. First of all, today's kick-off is a cause for joy and optimism, because we here at TU Wien understand green chemistry as a contribution to a better understanding, analysis, and solution of climate and environmental issues. I want to say thank you to all the colleagues in the 3 universities who made this master study green chemistry possible. I'm wishing you, of course, success and fun on your important job to do. The importance of this joint master program is that we are empowering the next generation of academics. It's a students' generation who is now enrolling at our universities, who are rightfully asking questions about their future, but whom we are also teaching to work out answers to these questions themselves and to find and follow the ways to solutions. Since many years, under the motto Technology for People, TU Wien makes a very clear commitment to sustainability and points out the importance of technological innovation as problem solvers. Our researchers and teachers are fully aware that these are also problems that only came up as a result of technological progress and use. This awareness is what drives sustainable approaches in science. Looking at the current societal transformation, we need to consider first the implications for the individuals of society. This necessary bridge building between technology and people challenges us every day. If this bridge building succeeds, we will have reached our aim. If we fail, we start all over again. This is science. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rector Seidler. I would like to call up now Vice Rector Schnabl from the University of Vienna.
Dear colleagues, a very welcome from the University of Vienna. Thank you for the invitation to be part of this opening event of the Trilateral Master Program. As Vice Rector for Study and Teaching Affairs at the University of Vienna, it's a great pleasure for us to start with a new master program in this field and to start this new master program in cooperation with the Technical University of Vienna and the BOKU. It is a new one more step to strengthen sustainability goals of our institutions. The University of Vienna, and in particular, the Faculty of Chemistry, is one of the 3 driving forces to implement this master's program. We are happy to contribute to the education and the raising of the next generation of chemists with a distinguished profile to meet the demands of sustainable development in times of climate change and energy crisis. Thank you to the TU of Vienna for organizing this kickoff event, and the Ministry for Climate Action supporting the initiative of the 3 universities to create this unique study program, and supporting with resources to make Vienna to a major research hotspot in green chemistry. In the last few years, the University of Vienna has grown up to a green chemistry hotspot. The Faculty of Chemistry is a main player in the field of green chemistry and material as a whole. In the 14 institutes and more than 50 research groups, various aspects of green chemistry are covered. Let me mention some of them. Renewable materials and composites, environmental chemistry, green synthesis and catalysis, energy harvesting, computational chemistry, and high-end analytical infrastructure for environmental analysis, with an interest to the fate and impact of degradation products on the environment. The 3 universities also cooperate closely in the field of research. The joint proposal for the FWF Cluster of Excellent Circular Bioengineering is a sign for these common activities. Let me switch shortly to the impact of green chemistry on industry. With an annual turnover of 15 billion euro to the chemical industry, it's the 3rd largest industrial sector in Austria. Currently, most of its technical processes are based on fossil fuels and fossil raw materials. Since we know it all, this is not sustainable, both in the view of climate change and dependence on fossil energy. Now we are in a process of fundamental change in the coming years. I would say all of us speakers will focus on this aspect. And this new master program will be a part of this challenge, and we need more of specialized chemists graduating from the Green Chemistry Master's program, as well as research in this field. Let me describe a little bit the scientific contribution of our Faculty of Chemistry in this study program. I want to mention some examples. Freddy Kleitz, he will teach in the module Sustainable Development. Professor Doris Marko, who will teach Principles of Toxicology, and Gunter Köllensberger, Innovative Analytics in Green Environmental Chemistry. Thank you very much, all our colleagues, for the excellent cooperation in the very complex implementing process. You all know it. 3 rectorates, 3 senates, 3 curriculum working groups, and all the staff, all the administration. Thank you very much. It was, I would say, a strong cooperation with a clear aim, namely to start as soon as possible with this program. We wish our students all the best and hope that this master's program is interesting for the new generation. It will be a good fundament for your professional task you have to solve in the next few years and decades. And we hope that this cooperation of the 3 universities in teaching will open opportunities for deeper cooperation in research too. After all, we are stronger together than apart, especially in these challenging times. All the best for our teachers, for our students, and for our colleagues in this Cooperation Masters program. Thank you very much.
Vice Rector Schnabl, thank you very much for your words. Indeed, it was a challenge to and a rough road to get there, but now we are here and now we are looking for the future perspectives. So the next on my list would be past Vice Rector Sabine Baumgartner with the University of Life Sciences, BOKU.
Okay. So in that case, can you see me? No, but you can hear me. Good morning. It is really a great pleasure for me to be here today to have that kickoff meeting for the Master Green Chemistry, because as you already heard, I was heavily involved in all the administrative work, not that much in the scientific input. But why is BOKU in that case within the club for green chemistry? So actually green chemistry fits perfectly well into 2 of our 6 competence fields, and that's namely renewable resources and new technologies, and as well as biotechnology. But it is not only in that case the mapping in the development plan where we have green chemistry in there, and also the passage which is agreed among our 3 universities to have the master program anchored within our performance agreement for 22 to 24. A few other things to do with university law and also with joint cooperation agreements. But we together fill that with life. We are in the program to bring content into that program. And just let me tell you one example at the Department of Chemistry, which is definitely very highly involved in that, at the Institute of Chemistry of Renewable Resources. In that case, already the name vouches for the contribution to the research-led teaching within this field, and it is underpinned by deeds and contributions. For example, in 2018-19, they brought home first prize at the International Green Chemistry Challenge, which was out there and organized by the Royal Society of Chemistry. And this also explains why our dear colleague Hubert Hettecker played a leading role within the development of the master's curriculum at BOKU, and he still remains for that curriculum as our contact person, which provides continuous support for this master program, Green Chemistry. And I myself, as I've said, had the great honor to accompany the development of the master program from the beginning with all the administrative and content planning we've had until near to the completion, as you already heard, to the cooperation agreement, which was set up in January 2022. In that case, I was still there as Vice Rector for Teaching and Continuing Education from BOKU. And today, I'm here as a representative of BOKU, and I really want to thank you very, very much, all who were involved on behalf of BOKU. And also, despite the many efforts which we had to put into the coming up of the program, it was possible to get this program together. We made the efforts to get this program running with its, let me say, transdisciplinary aspects for a holistic approach towards a new understanding of chemistry into the direction to a sustainable industry and society. So in shorter words, green chemistry. And as we all know, we started this study year, and I'm really, really very happy, simply delighted to be also part of that master program to put in some scientific content. So we will still work together, and let me say thank you very much to all, and thank you very much that we made this baby fly.
Thank you, Sabine. You were one of the people who actually triggered the atmosphere of not just seeing the problems, but trying to find the solutions. Thank you very much for that. So I would like to move on in our speakers list of opening addresses and move on to the Ministry of Climate Action. And it's my particular pleasure to ask Thomas Jakl to come to the stage. But before that, I would like to very briefly outline his important part in actually initiating this program. And I very much remember in 2019, we had the first dialogue on green chemistry. And during a coffee break, a few of the scientists from BOKU, from University of Vienna and of TU Wien were standing together and thinking what actually we should do. And very early on, Thomas Jakl also got very fond of the idea that we just do not only need action, but we also need people able to accompanying and promoting this process. And this was actually the birth hour of this whole initiative. It took a few years, but by university standards, I would say we were still pretty fast. Thomas Jakl.
Thanks a lot, Professor Mihovilovic. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, for us in the Climate Action Ministry, this is a great day because our Green Chemistry Initiative is also embedded in a sort of platform where we try to engage not only scientists and representatives from industry, but also the whole civil society, demonstrating that green chemistry is an enabling science to make circular economy happen. The most challenging time for government officials is when they are in duty for having the presidency of the Council of the European Union. And it was 3 times that Austria had this role. And each time we took over this responsibility, we tried to give chemicals policy another push, another a certain degree of visibility, but also to make chemicals policy making a step further. First presidency in '98 was when chemicals were firstly described that they might also have effects irritating the hormone system. And on the other hand, it was the emerging era of the first human biomonitor programs. The then Commissioner for the Environment, Marko shocked the public by displaying an analysis of her blood showing dozens of industrial chemicals. But for the policy movement, that was when it was a process for a new chemicals policy in Europe was actually triggered. It took some time until the real new framework could be established, the REACH regulation, and this was when our second presidency, 2006, came into play. And for the first time, Austria's one of the core competences is getting the right people together, right, and find the appropriate setting for them to exchange views and find common grounds. And so we invited representatives from the Commission, from the Member States, and from the European Parliament for the first time to discuss a possible way forward for designing a new EU chemicals policy. That was the era, and I'm associating myself to Professor Mihovilovic, where chemicals were seen as parts of the problem. In our third presidency, 2018, it was our aim to open the door for chemicals being seen also as a part of the solution. This is what we wanted to trigger. And we had a couple of conferences and meetings where we had the first aim of tightening the bonds between chemicals policy and the science. Chemicals policy today is embedded in a European Horizon Europe Partnership PAC, which launched 400 million euros for the next couple of years to inform chemicals policy in order to make sure that their decisions and their direction is based on sound science, evidence-based, and they also ensure that we have appropriate feedback mechanism. Are our actions doing what they are, or what their purpose was seen? So tightening the bonds between chemicals policy and science was the first aim. The second aim was making green chemistry the backbone for innovation, to show also chemicals policy that aspects like substitution of hazardous chemicals are to be seen as part of innovation. And so the other elements of green chemistry fit perfectly into that. And I'm really more than grateful that our initiative, Marko Mihovilovic just described, really crystallized in this full-fledged master program. The BMK will of course continuously support. We are planning also a PhD course to be equipped, and so it makes the whole spectrum complete. But today it's really a day of joy for having this lighthouse initiatives and this flagship program making happen. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Mr. Jakl. And finally, I would like to hand over and give the floor to Mr. Karl Kienzl with the...
Your Excellencies, professors, ladies and gentlemen, it's obvious I am not Leonore Gewessler. But I have to bring all the best wishes to you, not only for this event, but for the whole master program, which is very important for our ministry. Our ministry really tries to do the best to give some help. I know it was a lot of help by Thomas Jakl. And I'm personally honored to be here today for this event because Thomas Jakl involved me a couple of years ago when I still was at the Environment Agency in Austria. And when I moved to the cabinet, I had the opportunity to have some talks to some of you, and I'll meet you personally, to help to bring this master program to life. I do not tell you the importance about chemistry in our society. You all know much more about chemistry than I do. What I know is that our ministry tries to do the best to solve some of the really big problems we do have, not only climate change, biodiversity as well, and it's really very, very important to have less chemicals in the environment and to use less energy to produce the chemicals and to have less energy for the whole production cycle. Therefore, it's really great to have such a program because young people have to be trained in, and young people have to solve all the problems we are responsible for. The last 50 years, well, were the most important years to go up with chemicals, not only chemicals, with the use of energy and so on and so on. So you have to solve the problems we made. And therefore it's necessary to do all we can to give you the opportunity to solve these problems. And I am encouraging industry as well to give not only money, but their interest in all the production cycles we have to innovate, we have to create for the next years, for the next decade. to add not only Leonore Gewessler's best wishes, but my personal wishes to these programs. It is necessary to stay together in these awful times we are facing, and it's great that 3 universities are really working together for such a program. So all the best to you personally, to us all, and to the master program of green chemistry. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kienzl. Thanks to all the opening statements here.